You know that stereotypical character of the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket? The guy who's always got the answer and always shouting and always in charge and everyone has to listen to him? I think that was one of the biggest misnomers I thought when I got into coaching. I thought I had to know everything and have the answer right away at all times. And that gave me a lot of fear. It actually was paralyzing in many ways because I knew I didn't have the answer. I wasn't sure what the solution could be at every given moment, especially as I got older and I started to coach beyond high school, college as well. And some of those guys were not quite my age, but close to it. And I definitely felt like I was not in a league of understanding much different from the one that they were in. So I wasn't really sure what to do. But thankfully, after 4 challenging years of doing it in different capacities, I've started to grasp a little bit deeper of an understanding, I think. So this is what I've gotten so far. Before you can tell anyone what to do, I think it's important to master the skill of being as good a listener as possible, which is harder than you think, but definitely easier than trying to boss everyone around. Because there's 2 ways you can coach. You can work with individuals, or you can manage and provide maintenance for a team, okay? And I think if you're watching this and you're interested in coaching or teaching anything of that degree, it's important to start small, like with everything in life. So if you can work with an individual and understand what it is that makes them tick. In fact, you don't even necessarily have to come up with the goals. You just have to ask the right questions to figure out what their goals are or should be. Kind of like what a decent therapist does. They don't tell you what you're supposed to do. They ask questions so that you can go down the route yourself. They just guide you, right? And I think coming to that understanding has made my life a lot easier as an instructor in general, or just in my day-to-day interaction with friends and family, because it's less about knowing what the right thing is to say at all times. It's about just being curious and asking questions. And they give you the questions to ask as well. I started this off as a discussion about coaching. Now it's just how do you engage with another human being, but whatever, that's fine. So when you ask someone about themselves, whether it be school, their interests, work, personal life, what have you, everything they say gives you a new subject, a new element that you can utilize in the next branch of the conversation. So you ask someone where they go to school, and they describe the school itself and maybe also the location it's at, the city. And if you've been there or never been there, your next point of inquiry is that subject, that location. So you can continually go deeper and deeper until you build rapport with that individual. So like I said, this is not just a coaching thing, this is an interaction thing. To tie it back to coaching specifically, however, in order for your players to trust you, your students, they have to know a little bit about you. You have to be willing to be a little bit more vulnerable. So try to be honest and open up. Obviously, there's boundaries that you don't want to cross. You know, if they ask a question that you don't feel comfortable asking or answering, or that you shouldn't answer, then don't. But you can say it just like that. I don't feel comfortable answering that. Very matter of fact. I think a lot of times, a lot of adults especially, and I definitely took after this and wish I hadn't. I'm starting to learn now what the right thing to do is. They just come up with answers to kind of pass the person along, or to continue this image that you are somehow an expert or you're all-knowing, or I mean, no one's really buying it, right? We know that we're human, we're fallible. Even kids realize after a certain point that their parents, who they've always looked up to as these beacons of having the answer to everything, they figure out eventually that their parents are just as lost as they are. Or at least I hope they do, because it also allows for some, what's the word? Some grace, right? You can give your parents some grace when you understand that they don't know everything, and they never will. And that also allows you to give yourself some grace, because then their high expectations for you don't have to cloud your self-confidence or self-esteem. You can go, hey, you know what? They don't have everything figured out. I don't have to either, and I'm not going to. It's totally fine. So the more honest you can be about those things, the more trustworthy your kids you're coaching will find you. So keep those things in mind. That was just a major counterintuitive thing that I figured out through trial and error. I mean, there's a lot of great information online that has helped me to also practice, or, you know, listening to other people studying has made a big difference, which technically you're doing by listening to this right now. So I hope that's of value to you. Best of luck with whatever sport or activity you run. And if you don't do any of that stuff, I hope this helps you in just your day-to-day interactions with friends or family. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.